don't ever let Hollywood take over you at some point when you're a big star and you are doing those remakes and sequels and Marvel.
No, 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 no. I can't. I can't. It's not possible. It would kill me. I'd go to an early grave.
All right, I'm interrupting that meeting that you're having there, Rose. So you're stuck with me for 20 minutes.
Perfect. I'm so looking forward to it. It's really nice to meet you, Jim.
You too. Listen, I've been a fan of your work. I've been crushing on you, so this is a special treat for me. Okay. I
Oh my
remember the
God, I'm
first time I
honored.
saw you and like finding you, I'm like, who is this girl? I love
Thank
that movie. It was
you.
great. But
Oh
then
my God, thank you. I loved that film. It was so much fun to work on. And I mean, are you kidding? Getting to shoot in Ireland, it was insane.
that must have been a fun experience. It was such a good movie. I really enjoyed it. But that's the first introduction to Rose Reid I had, and ever since I've followed your career.
Oh my gosh, thank you, Jim. Well, I'm so excited to be chatting with you today. I'm glad we get to talk about this film. I'm really excited about it.
100%. Wait, so now you wrote this. You co-wrote this film too. Is this the first movie you had a writing part in?
Yeah, actually it is. So funny story, I wanted to be a writer from the get-go. That's actually why I wanted to get into film in the first place was I wanted to be a writer and I ended up getting into acting first because it was just an easier path as a 14-year-old girl to get into, we always need 14-year-old actresses, not
Yeah.
so much 14-year-old screenwriters. So, yeah, that's kind of how I started, but ultimately I wanted to write. So, yeah, this was my first feature project that I worked on. It was something that me and the executive producers and kind of the whole team dreamed up together. So it was very much so a group effort, which is one of the coolest parts about film. But yeah, it was my first feature that I wrote on.
That's cool. I mean, first of all, this is like a family affair. Your brother's
Yeah,
the star of this film, right? So
that's right.
I
Yeah,
feel like your dad's one of the producers too on it.
yep, I was about to say this is so gosh,
Family.
when I was probably like 16 or 17, my dad was like, wouldn't it be really cool if we had like a whole film empire? And it's one of those things that, as a family, you're like, yeah, that would be really cool. Like what if we could like all work on projects together? And then around that same time, when we shot this project, my dad retired from his 30 some odd year career in like healthcare finance and was like, I'm going to make a movie. Let's go make a movie. And so we kind of all brainstormed this idea. This was really my dad's idea. It was his brainchild, what he wanted to create. And we wanted to give my brother an opportunity to show what he could do on screen. He's a really talented actor. And so we just kind of decided we were going to go and shoot. At the time, we were like, it's going to be this little backyard film that we're all just going to go shoot together. And then it ended up being way bigger than that. And we couldn't be more proud of it. It's one of those things where, you never know when you're working with family how it's gonna end up working out. But we're so proud of the final product and it was such a joy getting to work with my family for really the first time at this capacity. So yeah, it turned out could have gone a whole lot worse, Jim. Could have gone a whole lot
I mean,
worse.
yeah, but it went pretty well. I mean, talk about
Yeah.
creating your own opportunities and not waiting for something to happen. I mean, a lot of actors in this industry just sort of wait for something to happen. And this is really, and this is kudos to your dad, taking a family and just like taking the reins here and creating your own thing. And look, there's multiple movies that he's back now and that you were in, and your brother is really outstanding. I was thinking the whole time, I'm like, how is he memorizing all these terms? Either he's really into like techie stuff and space stuff, but I'm like, I don't know how he memorized all this stuff and made it seamless, like as if he works on this.
Well, that's great to hear. Yeah, he's quite an inventor himself, so this project was just like right up his alley and we were able to really make it work. And it's really rare that you get to, like you said, create things of your own and create your own opportunities. And so it was this really exciting thing that we're really fortunate that we were kind of all able to come together as a family and do. And we had some incredible people, the same people who worked with me on other projects came and partnered with us on this one. So it was really incredible to like you said, create your own opportunities, especially during a time when the industry doesn't really, it's not taking a lot of chances right now. And so it was really it came at a really needed time for I think a lot of us, and we were able to give a lot of people jobs on this project. And
Right.
like I said, we're absolutely thrilled with it. It was like our brainchild for so long, and like you have to take such good care of this baby because there's so much work that goes into creating a film, and especially creating one that you're proud of. And so the fact that we're able to walk away from this that was a family affair and say, wow, we are so proud of the story that we created. We're so proud of how we handled everything, and we were able to walk away from it feeling good about it really says something.
Who got left out? Mom got left out. Any other siblings get left out? I mean, who's on the sidelines here?
Yeah, we actually I've got a mom and another brother who were left out. We were, this whole like family empire ended up just being the three of us, but maybe we'll get them in eventually on it.
Cameos, at least. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
exactly.
There's something. I
Yeah,
love,
definitely.
where did you guys film this movie? I was curious about that.
We filmed it in Nashville, Tennessee. There were like parts of it I think that were filmed in Chattanooga, but yeah, filmed most of it right here where I and my family live in Nashville, Tennessee, and it's not Nashville's first film for sure. We're bringing a lot of projects here. A lot of projects are coming to Nashville, which we're really grateful for, and so it's been really cool to see the industry grow here.
I mean, it's been Music City for so many years, but now, I mean, if music brought people, why not film too? It's such a scenic town, and yeah, I'm kind of surprised a lot more. It hasn't become a hub of sense and entertainments, especially since music's been around for so long.
Yeah, that's what we think too. That's why we're trying to push for films to come here.
That's really cool. I mean, you've got your base. What is it like? I'm curious. You see, we're now in a day and age where it's cool. You can be sort of anywhere. You don't have to be in LA. The goal is always like, you'd be at 14, like you said, you'd have to go to LA to start your career. But here now, you're able to do movies. I mean, in your case, really, in a special way with your family, but still, you get to live in Nashville and stay there and still be an actor. I mean, that's pretty unique and cool. Don't you think how the industry, the shift has happened? It's not centered in one place anymore.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it is something I'm really grateful for. I love LA. I love Los Angeles, but it's not where I want to live. I'm used to I grew up around horses and animals and lots of land. I mean, you grow up in the rolling hills of Tennessee. When you move to the concrete jungle of Los Angeles, it's can feel pretty claustrophobic. So
Yeah.
yeah, I feel really blessed that I've been able to start my career and continue my career in a time post-COVID, post-pandemic, when you do have members of like or agents from massive agencies that live overseas and major people whether they're A-list or not being able to live elsewhere and not have to, like you said, live in LA to be able to get stuff done. And yeah, it hasn't really been a big challenge. I don't think that that's been, obviously you miss out on some smaller like day player roles that studios don't want to fly you in for, of course.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, most films aren't even filmed in LA anymore. They're filmed overseas or they're filmed in states with better tax incentives. So, I mean, it's not like I am missing out on a ton in LA right now.
Yeah, and it just shows, it opens up sort of the industry for a lot of other creative people who maybe don't have a ways of getting out to LA or sustaining living the expenses there and being in LA. It's really cool to see that you're sort of be able to create where you live, and still have that and still pursue this profession.
Yeah, yeah, fingers crossed. I do think that we're starting to move into the golden age of independent filmmaking, and
Hmm.
we're seeing a lot of films come out that are made in a less traditional way, that studios are getting a little bit they're getting choosier with their projects. They're not taking as many risks. And I think that indies are where the risks are starting to be taken. And so that's really exciting as an indie filmmaker. I've wanted to do this for my whole life. It's been my whole life is trying to be a filmmaker and a writer and an actress. And yeah, it's really exciting to see. And I'm very hopeful that we're gonna see some really incredible indie films start coming out. And maybe we're gonna start to be able to actually have them appreciated and rather than it just being like all the massive studio blockbusters, maybe there's a chance for the little guy in here somewhere.
Exactly. I think sometimes you have enough of a reboot, remake, and another superhero
Yeah.
movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To see something
What-
original.
Yeah, exactly. What is it? A reboot of a remake? Is that what
Yeah.
the joke is?
Pretty
Yeah,
much.
that's
I
about
mean,
right now.
that's the ideas we're getting. And it's so interesting that for your first movie that you written, you really jumped out there, like I said, to do something sort of sci-fi and complex, having to do with Tesla and all that. I mean, you could have gone for something easier, Rose, like a romantic comedy or something.
Yeah.
But you really challenged yourself, really, with sort of a historical aspect and a sci-fi aspect. Why did you decide to do that? Like, was this on your mind, this story, this sort of concept and genre in a sense, that you were just going to kind of challenge yourself, I'd say, for the first movie you've co-written?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I have to give a lot of the credit to Kaylee Bailey, who was our director and my co-writer on it, who she did all of the or most of the really technical writing and the work, the research that went into figuring out how it's something, that is theoretical and science fiction, but it still has to be grounded. How would something like that work? What would you say about it? And so we did have some really cool consultants who came on board and helped us figure out what that language would be. We can certainly not take credit for all of that, but yeah, it was definitely ambitious to try to create a film, especially one, like I said, where there were a lot of newcomers. This was Kaylee's first, this was her directorial
Wow.
debut. This was my feature like writing debut, and it was my brother's acting debut, and it was like there were so many debuts happening on this project that yeah, you're right. We really could have chosen an easier subject matter to tackle for it, but I think that you know you got to swing for the fences when you're trying to get something done, and we could have made something really small and really tiny, and we could have pulled in these tiny favors and tried to just play it safe, but I think that sometimes you have to take a risk, and sometimes the risk pays off and sometimes it doesn't, and we'll see about this film, but at the end of the day we're really proud of what we created, and we think it turned out to be really, really cute and really fun. And I think I'm a pretty tough critic when it comes to projects that I'm in, and I love this one. So yeah, I think we're all pretty proud of it.
I'm kind of blown away that this is your brother's acting debut. He was so likable and charming and very like he felt like a real person. And I love that in films where characters feel like real people, and so likable. Wow, for an acting debut, that's really impressive.
Yeah, I know. Like I said, he's really talented, and we definitely, as a family, don't believe in giving someone something that they haven't earned and something that they can't. Everybody's got to pull their own weight, and I think that as a sister, I'm of course prone to be a little bit more critical than I ought to be, and when it came to his acting, I was blown away. I was really impressed by, like you said, how believable he was and how in it he was and how dedicated he was to making sure that the role felt authentic. And he did all the research that he needed to do to understand this character and understand like I said, he is a little bit of an inventor, so he kind of knew some of the lingo, but man, there was a lot of research that went into this. And as a sister, I'm simultaneously, like I said, his biggest critic and also his biggest supporter. So after seeing it, I was wildly impressed.
Yeah, and he's almost in every scene too, which is wild for an actor making his debut. Like, hey, you're just the starting quarterback here in your first game, and take us to the playoffs.
Yeah,
So
exactly. And playing with some pretty heavy hitters too. We had and like you said, a really massive subject matter that you're dealing with, very complex things. And there were some sequences that were not, the blocking was not easy. You had to be moving and you had to know where to hit your mark here and here and here. And like there was constant. So yeah, he really thrived on that shoot, and I couldn't be more proud and more excited for how it's going to be received.
I love that robot. It was like Wally. It reminded me of that. It was so
Good.
cute.
Did you hear that he was like a real working robot that one of the guys from Mythbusters created for
No
us?
way. I was just gonna ask him, like, oh, what sort of CGI you guys used to make? What? That
No,
was
he
a
was a
real thing.
real robot. Yeah, he showed up to the premiere and everything. I'm the guy who made him. His name is Davis, and I'll have to pull up his Instagram to find his last name. But Davis was incredible. He created this robot, operated him on set, voiced him for us on set, and oh my gosh, he stole the show. He was our favorite character in the movie.
Wow, I cannot believe that was a real thing. It looks so cinematic. I'm like, oh, it's a really great CGI robot. And like, it was so fun and cute. Remember me of Wale, of that Disney, I think it was a Pixar character. But
Yeah.
oh my goodness, that is. That's invention right there. This is flowing with the theme of this movie
Oh
for
yeah,
sure.
Mythbusters, man. We're so thankful that we got Davis. He came in and created this whole robot for us. We had one that was like the real working, moving robot who could roll around, do all the lights, look around at people. He could like do everything. We had a real robot. And then we also had another one that was like our stunt robot, essentially, that anytime he had to be dropped or thrown or anything like that, that was not a real robot because obviously that costs a bit more money to do. So we had two different robots that were there on set. And yeah, he was a real character. He was like on the call sheet and everything.
Unbelievable. It's like a talking pet, I mean, like a cute one that you want with you. That's amazing. Wow. I had no idea. That makes it even cooler now when I think about it. Well, that's a heck of an accomplishment there. Rose, like you're a Tennessee girl. Like I said, I've been a fan of your work. What do you like to do for fun? What sort of things makes Rose Rose, in a sense? You seem very down to earth and grounded and just like a talented regular person.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I think I'm more regular person than talented for sure, but
I disagree. I think you're you're definitely both.
thank you. Yeah, I spend a lot of time, like I said, I grew up around horses and grew up around
Mhm.
farms. And so I have four horses and I work
Wow.
with them. That's kind of something that just like helps keep me grounded. It definitely humbles you working with animals. So yeah, I work with my horses and I write probably every day. I'm actually a pretty big video game nerd, which is yeah, kind of throws people. So I like to play my Xbox and I like to play Minecraft and play all of my silly video games, and that
Wow. Okay.
those yeah, those really keep me sane, especially when I'm working. I love my video games when I'm working, and I read, and that's yeah, I'm a huge like fantasy and science fiction nerd, hence why we bit off more than we could chew on this project because I love sci-fi and I was like, great, this is going to be a sci-fi project and we're gonna make it work and it's gonna be fine. But yeah, that's pretty much me. Pretty much you can just catch me like at a coffee shop writing or reading or on a horse any day of the week. And as long as I'm not working, I'm doing one of those things.
That is amazing. I would have never guessed. I love asking this question too. Did you get so much like insight into someone that you see on screen? You have like a whole different perception of. So
Oh
I didn't
yeah,
think
it's
you
so
were
wild.
bougie or anything, but I totally figure like, okay, but I didn't know the gamer aspect. I didn't know all these sort of things, which makes you even cooler, in that regard.
Good, good. I'm glad it doesn't make me like nerdy or odd. Like, okay, that's a really bizarre thing. It's
Oh,
always a fine line between being like, oh, she's a pick me girl because she likes video games, and being like, oh no, she's authentic. She's actually being truthful with us that she really likes Elden Ring or whatever game I'm playing that week.
this all makes sense why you did this now. It answers my original questions like completely now, knowing that this is like your actual interest and hobby. And that makes it even cooler then that you got to do this.
Yeah, yeah, seriously. I couldn't be more grateful or I understand that this is a really tough industry to exist in, and it's a really tough industry to get films made in. And so I couldn't be more grateful and feel more blessed to have been able to be a part of this project and make this project from the ground up and bring it to life. And I know that it's a really, really hard thing to do. And sometimes it's luck of the draw, and sometimes it is hard work. And so we're really grateful that we had all things aligning on this project to bring it to the screen.
Yeah, and you did it. And you know what? You are really ambitious, and so is your family. I mean, going for it all, not just like an actor. I'm going to write. I want to direct. You want to do it all, and this is really cool that you're doing it and you're following what you want to do. So, wow, I can only imagine down the road the possibilities for your career and everything else. I mean, and your brother too, especially.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. He's really talented, and I'm really looking forward to seeing. He's got a lot of projects coming up, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what he does next.
Don't ever let Hollywood take over you at some point when you're a big star and you are doing those remakes and sequels and Marvel.
No, 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 no. I can't. I can't. It's not possible. It would kill me. I'd go to an early grave.
This
Gotta
is so
innovate,
much
Jim.
fun. What enjoyable experiences. Now I know the backstory about so many little things, the robot and everything. It makes this even a cooler thing when I look back, on this film. Congratulations on that. I think it's really cool that you guys got to do this as a family and got so many people involved in Tennessee and made it local and personal in so many levels. And that's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much, Jim. It's been so fun chatting with you. What are you in film? Do you want to be in film? What are you doing?
I used to, so I act on the side. Then I discovered I'm more of a talking personality, I guess, and I love connecting with creatives and getting to hear their story and just getting to know them, and I feel like that's the exciting part for me. But I mean, yeah, I'd like to, continue, I guess, do some more acting, but I really am enjoying what I'm doing as sort of a, interviewer and content creator and all that too. So it's sort of my passion too.
Yeah, well, that's a really being a content creator and like you said, interviewer and just personality, whether it's like a TV personality or an internet personality, that is a whole other ball game. I have no idea. I have several friends who are in that world, and I went through a phase when I was probably like 18 or 19 where I thought maybe I'll do that, and I got into it and was like, wow, that's a talent. And I don't have it. That's just not my thing. So more power to you. I could never do
I think you
it
could,
really
Rose.
just
You
goes
know
to
why
show
I
that
think
there's so
so?
many
Because
different
you're
like
authentic, and it
oh, well,
just
thank
takes
you.
being a real person who is gotta. It's the keys for me. It's like listen, stay in the moment, and be curious about things. And if you have those three elements, I think you can totally do this and be good at it. And you got to be authentic because people want authenticity, and you can tell when someone's being sort of fake and whatnot. So
Well,
I
there's
think
also like an eloquence to it that you've got to be able to have, and like you obviously have it. And every like internet personality that I know, all the really successful ones, they are just so smart and you're so sharp, and you immediately like have another question ready and like teed up and like all these other things. Like you're thinking about so many more things than I am. As the actor or whatever, we get to sit here and just listen to the question and be like, oh, here's the answer. And then
yeah.
there's no thoughts beyond that. And so it's a real talent. Don't sell yourself short. It's a hard job
Well,
to do. More power to you.
thank you. And I never come with question. I have like a one question in mind, and that's it. I didn't know how this interview is gonna go. I didn't know what I'm gonna ask you. I just always lean on the moment because I feel like it's a human thing. It's a human engagement and a connection. You never know what's gonna happen or the other person's gonna say. So I had no idea what's gonna happen. I just knew I wanted to ask you, sort of a one question I had in mind, and then let things come naturally, and it did certainly.
I love that. Well, prepare yourself because I'm going to go internet stalk you after this and see what projects you've acted in so that I can go next time we chat, I can be like, I loved you in this.
Okay, well, it won't be much probably, but you can IMDb. I think there's some IMDb on me out there.
Oh
But
yeah. Oh yeah. I can't wait to
Rose,
look.
absolutely love connecting with you. Like I said, been a fan, have a little crush too. I mean, how can I not? You're stunning, and now you're even more fun and cooler than everything else. So this was a really treat and a pleasure to get to talk to you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I so enjoyed our conversation. And, like you said, sometimes you can get with some people that, don't know the right questions, or it feels a little like stodgy, and you just are awesome. And you know exactly, what to ask without even writing anything down. This has been such a pleasure, and I've loved getting to know you.
Hey, mutual. Let's do this again. I can't wait. I know there's going to be more projects. Your dad's probably cranking out things too. So
I hope
can't
so.
wait to see what's next for you.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much, Jim. It was wonderful to meet you.
You too. Let's do this again.
Bye.